Imagine if a secret code has been hiding in the Bible for thousands of years, a code that tells us about something scary called the mark of the beast. What if everyone has been guessing wrong about what it really means? Some people think it's a tiny computer chip or a tattoo you get. Others worry it's about buying things with special hand scanners. But what if the true meaning is much older and connects to something surprising from the past? Something that was a secret message for people long ago. And that secret has been missed by most people for centuries. Close your eyes and allow yourself to rest as we explore the forgotten moments that might hold deeper secrets than we realize. This is today's bedtime story. Let's begin. Today, we are going to dive into this big mystery. We're going to talk about the famous number 666, which many people call the number of the beast. It's a scary idea for lots of folks, making them wonder about the end of the world. But we're going to look at it closely, not with scary made-up stories, but with clues from history and the Bible itself. Some believe the mark of 666 is about a future bad guy. Others think it's about a hidden sign. We'll explore how different people have thought about this mark, from people alive a long time ago to people living today. We're going to show you how a very old trick with numbers might unlock the real meaning behind 666, a meaning that was actually meant for the people who first read the Bible story. This isn't just about what might happen. It's about what the Bible really wanted to tell its first readers about a big problem they were facing. Get ready to see the mark of the beast in a whole new way, a way you might not have heard before. Imagine if a really important secret about the mark of the beast wasn't meant for our time at all, but was a special message meant for people who lived almost 2,000 years ago. This sounds wild, right? Many people think the mark is all about what's happening today. But what if the Bible gave clues that point straight back to an old, powerful enemy from long ago? Most of what we know about the mark of the beast comes from one book in the Bible, the Book of Revelation. This book is very special because it's full of amazing pictures and symbols, like big beasts, angels, and visions of the future. It's sometimes a bit tricky to understand because it uses a kind of secret language to talk about big ideas. Think of it like a puzzle written for people who were living in a very tough time. The Book of Revelation was written for early Christians who were being treated very badly by a huge, powerful empire. This empire was so strong that it made people do things they didn't want to do, and it even hurt them for believing in Jesus. The book was written to give these sad and scared people hope and courage. So, when we read about the mark of the beast, especially in parts like Revelation chapter 13, verses 16 to 18, and chapter 14, verses 9 to 11, it's like we're peeking into a secret message meant for them. Some people believe these parts of the Bible are only about what's coming in the future. But others think these parts also had a very clear meaning for the people reading them right then. They believe the beast and its mark were like secret names for the problems those early Christians were facing. It's a way the Bible used symbols to talk about something very real and scary in their lives, giving them a hidden message of strength. The terrifying beast talked about in the Bible's Book of Revelation wasn't a monster from a spooky dream, but a real-life, powerful government that was hurting people right when the Bible was being written. This is a big, surprising idea, and it's a secret some people have missed for a very long time. When you read about the beast in Revelation chapter 13, it's not talking about a hairy, roaring animal. Instead, it's like a special, hidden name for a very mean and powerful system. This beast usually stands for a big empire or a government that acts against God and tries to control everyone. It's like a bully in charge of a whole country, making people do bad things or worship it instead of God. The Bible also talks about the image of the beast. This isn't a statue that suddenly comes to life. It means something that looks like the beast, or something that people are forced to worship, just like they would worship the beast itself. Think about how a ruler might demand everyone bow down to his picture or to him, showing they believe he's the most important. This image is about showing total loyalty, even if it means going against what you know is right. Many smart people who study the Bible think the beast was a secret way to talk about the Roman Empire. At the time Revelation was written, Rome was super powerful. Its emperors, who were like kings, wanted everyone to think they were gods. They even made people offer gifts to their statues. If you didn't, you could get into big trouble. So, the beast was a secret way to warn Christians about this strong empire that wanted to be worshipped like God. Some people might think the beast means any bad country that shows up in history, like very evil rulers who appeared later on. Others might think it means a bad world government in the far future. But for the people who first read Revelation, this beast was very real and very close to them. It was a giant power that made them choose, follow God, or bow down to the beast and its demands. This choice meant everything. The mark of the beast wasn't something you could see, like a tattoo or a microchip, but was an invisible sign that showed everyone who you truly obeyed. This sounds like a trick, right? But the Bible, when read very carefully, points to a secret kind of mark, a hidden sign of loyalty that was super important in ancient times. The book of Revelation talks about people getting a mark on their right hand or on their foreheads. When you hear that, many people think of something actually drawn or put on the skin. But in the Bible, the hand often means what you do, your actions, your work, how you live. The forehead often means what you think, your beliefs, your ideas, who you give your heart to. So, for people who read this long ago, the mark on the hand or forehead was likely a special way to say that someone had given their total loyalty and obedience to the beast, that powerful bad system we talked about. It was like saying, my actions and my thoughts belong to the beast, not to God. Think about how God told his people in the Old Testament to put his laws on your hands and on your foreheads. That didn't mean writing on their skin. It meant they should always do what God wanted and always think about God's rules. So, the mark of the beast is like the opposite sign. It means giving your whole self to the bad system. Some people believe this mark will be a real, physical thing in the future that stops you from buying or selling. But others believe that in Revelation's time, this mark was about showing you belonged to the bad government. If you join their clubs, paid respects to their leaders, or used their special ways of trading, you were showing you were marked by them. If you didn't, you might not be allowed to buy food or sell your goods. It was a choice of who you truly belonged to, and that choice affected everything you did and how you lived. The mysterious number 666 wasn't just a random scary number, but a secret code hiding the name of a very real and very mean ruler who lived long, long ago. Someone who hurt Christians badly? This sounds like something from a spy movie, right? But smart people who study old languages believe they've cracked this code, and it points to a very specific person from the past. The book of Revelation says, "Here is wisdom. Let him who has understanding calculate the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man. His number is 666. This line is a huge clue. It tells us that 666 is the number of a person and that it takes wisdom to figure it out. Back in ancient times, people sometimes used a clever trick called gematria. It's like a secret math game where every letter in a name has a special number value. If you added up the numbers for all the letters in a person's name, you would get a total. This was a common way to talk about people in a secret code, especially if that person was dangerous. Now, here's the big reveal that many Bible experts agree on. When you take the name of a very famous and very cruel Roman emperor named Nero Caesar and write it in the Old Hebrew and Greek letters, and then use gematria to add up the numbers for those letters, the total often comes out to 666. Nero was a terrible ruler who hurt Christians very much, even burning some of them in horrible ways. So, for the early Christians who were reading Revelation, the number 666 wasn't a mystery about the future. It was a clear, coded message about their biggest enemy right then. It was a way to talk about him without saying his name out loud, which could be dangerous. Some old copies of the Bible actually show the number 616 instead of 666. Interestingly, 616 can also be calculated from Nero Caesar's name, just spelled a tiny bit differently in the old languages. This makes the idea of it being a coded name even stronger for many experts. While some people still believe 666 is about a future bad guy or a general symbol for evil, many others think the strongest and most direct meaning was for those first readers. It was a message that God knew who was hurting them, and that even the most powerful human leader had a number, and that God was still in control. It's a powerful secret that tells us a lot about the message of hope in Revelation for the people who first received it. Imagine if the terrifying idea of no one could buy or sell without the mark wasn't about a super smart computer system in the future, but about how everyday life worked in a big, cruel empire a long, long time ago. This might sound like a surprising secret, but for early Christians, this was a very real problem they faced every single day. The book of Revelation says that without the mark of the beast, no one could buy or sell. Many people today think this means a new kind of money or a special scanner that stops you from getting food or clothes. But let's think about how things were in the Roman Empire when Revelation was written. Back then, if you wanted to sell your pottery or buy grain for your family, you often had to be part of a special group, like a trade guild. Think of them like old-fashioned worker clubs. To join these clubs, You often had to take part in special parties or ceremonies where people would honor the Roman gods or even the emperor. If you were a Christian, you believed in only one God, so you couldn't do that. So, if you didn't join these clubs, or if you refused to bow down to the emperor, you could be boycotted. That means people wouldn't buy from you, and stores wouldn't sell to you. It wasn't about a barcode not scanning. It was about being shut out of the marketplace because of your beliefs. If you couldn't buy or sell, it was very hard to get food, pay for your home, or even feed your family. This was a very real and scary problem for people who believed in God during that time. Some people still think this no buying or selling will be a very strict, high-tech rule in the future. But for others, it's a powerful picture of how bad systems try to force people to agree with them, using money and even food as a way to control them. It was a way for the powerful beast, the Roman Empire, to pressure people into showing their full loyalty, whether they really believed it or not. This part of the prophecy showed the early Christians that God understood the very difficult choices they faced just to survive. The scariest part of the mark of the beast wasn't about a mark on your hand or head at all, but about a choice made deep inside your heart and mind, a choice about who you truly worship and obey. This might sound like a surprising secret, but many smart people believe the Bible's real message is all about this hidden choice, not just a physical sign. When you read the book of Revelation very carefully, you find that the most important message is all about worship. It asks a very big question. Who or what will you give your very best loyalty to? Will it be God, or will it be the beast, that powerful bad system that stands against God? Taking the mark of the beast in Revelation means more than just having a physical sign. It means you are choosing to worship the beast and its image. Remember, that means showing total loyalty to it. It's like saying, I choose this powerful system over God. This is a huge deal because for Christians, worshiping anything or anyone other than God is the biggest mistake you can make. It's a way of turning your back on God. Some people think the mark is just about a simple sign or a piece of technology. But other people believe it's about a much deeper choice. It's about where your heart is, where your loyalty truly lies. When Revelation talks about the bad things that happen to those who take the mark, it's not just about what happens on earth. It's about spiritual things, about what happens to your soul forever. The story says that those who choose the beast will face God's anger in the end, but those who stay true to God will be with him in a... So, the whole point of the mark of the beast is about this giant spiritual fight for your loyalty. It's about making a choice. Will you give your full trust and worship to God, even when it's hard? Or will you give it to a powerful earthly system that asks you to turn away from God? This is the true conflict that the book of Revelation wants us to understand. For hundreds and hundreds of years, people kept guessing wrong about who the beast was and what the mark meant. What if they always pointed to the scariest person or big problem in their own time, never quite cracking the secret code that was meant for people living way, way back when the Bible was first written. The book of Revelation is full of mystery, and because of that, people in every age have tried to figure out who the beast was and what the mark of the beast meant for them. It's like a big puzzle, and everyone wanted to find the answer for their own time. For example, a long time ago, when there were big fights between different churches, some groups thought that the leader of a different church, like a pope, was the beast. They pointed to certain things the pope did or wore and tried to make it fit the prophecy. They truly believed they had found the answer for their day. These ideas sometimes even caused big disagreements and problems between different groups of Christians. Later, when really powerful and mean rulers came along, like a famous French leader named Napoleon, or even Adolf Hitler, who caused a terrible war in Germany, people again thought, aha, this is the beast. They would look at their names, their actions, or their symbols, and try to match them to the clues in Revelation. They felt very sure that these were the evil figures the Bible warned about for their own time. This shows us something important. People always look at the Bible through the eyes of their own time when things are scary or confusing. They try to find answers in old prophecies that make sense for their world. These guesses often came from real fear or worry about the bad things happening around them. So even if they sometimes pointed to the wrong person or thing, their feelings and worries were very real. However, many Bible-smart folks now believe that these past guesses often missed the bigger, original, secret message. They were looking for a future enemy or a present bad guy, when the book of Revelation was actually talking about someone very specific and dangerous who was already there when the book was first written. This long history of different guesses just adds to the mystery and shows why understanding the old meaning, especially for its first readers, is so important. The things that make people really scared about the mark of the beast today, like tiny computer chips under the skin or secret codes hidden in everyday things, are actually missing the whole point of what the Bible was trying to tell us. This might be a shocking secret, but many people who study the Bible very closely believe these fears are not what Revelation truly means. Today, when people hear Mark of the Beast, they often think of really new things. Some worry about microchips being put into people's bodies. Others wonder if it's connected to barcodes on products or special IDs needed to go places. Some even fear that very smart computers, called AI, could be the beast. These ideas can make people very, very scared. These worries come from a good place. People want to understand the Bible and be ready for the future. But many smart Bible teachers and historians say these ideas usually miss the main message that Revelation was trying to send. They argue that the book of Revelation uses symbols and coded language that were important to the people living back then. They explain that while new inventions like chips or super smart computers are powerful tools, the mark isn't about the tool itself. Instead, it's about the choice people make with their hearts and minds. The mark of the beast is about giving your full loyalty and worship to a bad system instead of to God. So, A microchip might be used to control people, but it's not the mark of the beast itself unless it forces someone to turn away from God in their heart. Some people hold on to these modern ideas very strongly, believing they are clear warnings for our exact time. But many others believe that if we focus too much on these new technologies, we might miss the real, older meaning of the mark. They worry that being too scared about a chip might make us forget the more important lesson: to always keep our loyalty to God, no matter what powerful system tries to make us worship it. It's about looking past the scary images to find the true, deep lesson about faith and loyalty. The true meaning of the mark of the beast isn't about numbers to be afraid of. It's about choices of loyalty. It's a reminder that we should always give our hearts, our worship, and our very best to God alone. It teaches us to be brave and faithful, knowing that goodness will always triumph over evil in the end, no matter how strong the bad forces seem. This is the big, hopeful secret of Revelation that continues to speak to us today. You're awesome for watching. Don't forget to watch the next video showing up on your screen.